Hey, this is Charla Anderson, and I'm your courageous coach. I'm a speaker and author, and your courageous coach. And in these unsteady times we're going through right now, some of us are actually kind of feeling some fear and feeling some, confusion and don't know what to do. And I want to encourage you. I have a gift to encourage you to not do that. We can't change the world. We can change our world, which changes the world. So we can take care of ourselves first, take care of our neighbors, our family, and then certainly be checking on our neighbors. This is a perfect time, and I don't think it's ever been done in history before, but we have a great opportunity right now to reset, to shift, to imagine what our life and our businesses could be. We can kind of wipe a slate clean if we choose to and start visioning what we want. And who I have said I am for a lot of years is bold faith, no fear. That's who I am. And I just want to remind you that who you are after you say who you become, right after you say the words I am, that's who you are. So be cautious with your words. Speak what you want, not what you don't want. And I am incredibly honored today to get to introduce to you one of my really special friends. Has an incredible legacy, and he has a word for you today from the Stronger. I'm a Zig Ziglar Legacy Certified Trainer, and Tom Ziglar is offered to join with me today to encourage you with some of his words. And I'm so grateful to have him here. And so, Tom, would you please take it away? I'd love to hear what you have to say, how much you can encourage my clients and friends.
Well, Charlie, first off, I just want to say that I'm proud of you. I'm very, very grateful for what you do and how you carry the Ziglar philosophy out. As when you become Ziglar certified, we adopt you. So I know. So you don't have a choice now, you're adopted. And just a personal message, Charles inspired me in a couple of ways. I mean, one of the things that I do when I travel is my goal is to change the atmosphere. That's another conversation, but I learned that idea from you about how easy it is if we are intentional about it. But right now, what I want to do is I want to give you a word of encouragement, some hope, and it's around what we call at Ziglar the stronger mindset. And I believe that you were created and designed for such a time as this. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to give you some hope, some reasons, and I want to share with you a PowerPoint real quick that will take us through this. So my father was Zig Ziglar. He passed away about 7.5 years ago. Some of you probably heard of him. He wrote 45 books, and we estimate in his life, speaking and training and all that he did, that he impacted about 250 million people. And I was thinking, one of the most quotable human beings alive, what would he say about today? If he was here, what message would he give? And I found this quote of his, and I think it's the perfect quote to kind of kick off Stronger. And here's the quote: expect the best, prepare for the worst, maximize what comes. So let's break this down. Let's understand this. Hey, you know what? We're going to live today expecting the best. When we see somebody, whether it's a friend or stranger, somebody, we're going to expect the best. We know that tomorrow is going to get better. We know we're going to get through this. This is a crazy time we're in, and it's kind of uncertain. We don't know if we're going to be in this time for a week or a month or longer, but we do know this: we're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it together. So how do you go out during the day expecting the best? Well, whenever you greet somebody, a coworker, somebody who's family or friend, you give them some hope, you give them some encouragement, you have the attitude of gratitude. So why is this so important? Well, scientifically, medically, this is incredibly important right now, because when we lift our spirits, it's medically proven, scientifically, we lift our immune system. We actually physically boost our immune system. And then when we have that smile, that little bit of courageous encouragement, right? That contagious encouragement, then those who are around us, their spirits are lifted too. That means their immune system is lifted. And so in a time like this, when we need all the immune system we can get, think about it. Some of us are likely going to be inconvenienced by this virus. Others are going to have a medical emergency. What if we were the reason? What if the encouragement we gave was the reason that somebody's immune system fought it off and it wasn't a big deal? Dad said this: a positive attitude won't let you do anything, but it will let you do everything better than a negative attitude. Wow, there is no downside to this. Well, look at that second phrase, prepare for the worst. I mean, how do those two things go together? Well, they go together perfectly. Let me explain. We got to prepare for the worst. We got to wash our hands in 20 seconds, 20 times a day. We got to make sure we got supplies in the kitchen, right? We've got to prepare for our families. We need to look into the future and think, okay, how does this impact my family, my business, my life? We got to go ahead. We got to look at our physical self, mental, spiritual. We've got to build that up during this time. We got to eat right. We got to get the nutrition. We got to get the sleep. We got to put the right things in our mind. Why? Well, you've probably already had it. You've probably already had the late night phone call or the text, somebody reaching out saying, hey, I'm kind of struggling right now. I need some advice. I need some encouragement. You see, when we prepare for the worst, what we're really doing is we're fortifying ourselves and we're creating margin so that we have the ability and the capacity to help others who are in need. And that's why we're here on this earth, to serve, love, and support others. That's what I believe God called us to do. And this last one, maximize what comes. Hey, you know what? When somebody reaches out and they say, hey, can you talk? You're on Facebook or you're on text or whatever. You be 100% present. You listen to them intently. You hear what they have to say. Then you give them some love, some encouragement. You support them. And then you go a little bit extra, right? You do a little bit more. The next day, you write them a little text in the morning. Hey, I was praying for you this morning. I was thinking about you. You're going to be fine. You're going to get through it. We're in this together. What about your business life? Well, likely a customer is going to reach out to you and they're going to say, hey, I've got this big, deep pile of problems. I need some help. So how do you maximize what comes? You help them. You dig in. You help them solve those problems. And when you do it, you do a little bit extra, right? You give them that word of encouragement. You go the extra mile. This is what Dad said. Dad said, Zig Ziglar said, success is the maximum utilization of the abilities that God gave you. For such a time as this, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your resources, all the things that you have, we got to maximize those to support all of God's children. And when we think about that, we think about our own kids. You see, in the stronger mindset, maybe the biggest impact we're going to have is our own family, right? Legacy is intentionally preparing those you love to grow through life's most difficult challenges. Now, I already mentioned that we adopted Charla. And so for me, my family's big. Yeah, it's my wife and it's my daughter and it's my sisters and it's all the blood relatives, but it's also my friends and neighbors who have adopted, right? They are looking to you. They're looking to me. They're waiting to see, are we standing tall and firm in the furnace? Do we have this voice of hope and encouragement? That's what they're waiting to hear. How are we going through this? And when we go through it, we don't go through it, we grow through it. Meaning we know that all these things that are coming against us are helping us grow. They're making us stronger. Tom Brokaw said this. He said, the greatest generation the United States has ever had was the men and women who fought World War II. Think about it. They went off to war and we didn't have the resources. We weren't prepared. We didn't have the equipment. We were untrained. We were fighting a superior army from experience bases. And yet we won that war because we were in it together. Then we came home. The men and women who fought that war came home, and the greatest economic growth boom in the history of civilization happened. Isn't that awesome? The greatest generation. But then my friend Andy Andrews, he told me this. He said, Tom, they weren't the greatest generation. It was their parents. You see, the men and women who fought World War II, they were raised during the Great Depression. They grew up on farms and in small towns, and they didn't have anything. They had to work from sun up to sundown just to make ends meet. And yet they had each other. They had principles and values. They had love. And that's why they were the greatest generation, because their parents, in such a time as this, I believe that in such a time as this, we have the opportunity to create, to raise the greatest generation our country has ever had. It's a mindset. It's a stronger mindset. That's the opportunity we have. Some of what I talk about was inspired by the book Antifragile by Nassim Taleb. Antifragile is another word for stronger. My word is stronger, but what does antifragile mean? Let me share it with you. The easiest way to explain it is it's the opposite of fragile. Fragile is easily broken, weak, or destroyed. We don't want to be fragile, do we? We don't want to melt under the pressure. We don't want to succumb to all the things that are going on. We want to be strong. When you ask people what's the opposite of fragile, they'll say robust, resilient, strong, sturdy, gritty. Yeah, we want to be those things, because when you're those things, you're able to withstand what happens. But I love the term anti-fragile. I love the term stronger even better, because here's the definition. Anti-fragile means that when the stressors, the shocks, the volatility, the noise, the mistakes, the faults, the attacks, or the failures, when they come, we get stronger because of it. You see, medically and scientifically, we know that when we have the right, stronger mindset, we boost the immune system. We're better for it. We help those around us. Now look at this. Biologically, we know that God created us this way. Think about it. When we want to build muscles, what do? We lift weights. We tear down the muscle fibers, right? We put them under tension and pressure and stress, and then they get what? Stronger. And women, many times when they reach menopause, they'll go to the doctor, and the doctor will say, uh-oh, we don't want to have osteoporosis. You need to start lifting weights. You need to go home and put your bones under tension, under pressure, under stress, under weight. Because when you do that, what happens? They get stronger. So just like we have all of these issues where medically, scientifically, biologically, we can go even deeper as to why the stronger mindset. Think of it spiritually. I was thinking about my dad. His life verse was Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to those who love God. I mean, think about it. This is going to work out. We're going to get through this. It's going to be for the good. And then I looked at my life verse. And Charlie, when I was 12, they said, hey, Tom, you need a life verse. And so I picked James 1, 2, and 3. I don't even know why. When I was 12, I'd never had a trial. I mean, my trial was what dessert was I going to pick at Louie's cafeteria? Okay. Look at James 1, 2, and 3. Consider it all joy, my brother, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. What does that say? It says that when we come under adversity, when we come under trials, when we get attacked from all sides, we should be joyful because we're being purified and perfected for the purpose that God put us here. It's a mind shift. It's a change in perspective. It's a stronger attitude. And then I look, I like different versions of the Bible. Look what the Message says. When tests and challenges come at you from all sides. Hey, do you feel like that? I do. I mean, right now it's crazy. But look at the next verse. You know that under pressure, your faith-filled life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. You were created for such a time as this. Your family, your friends, your coworkers, all those in the community, they're looking to you. They want to see your countenance, your smile, your courageous, contagious optimism, your gratitude that lifts others up. I've heard it said that a small candle can light a very dark room. And that's what you are. You are a light in a time like this. And then I look at the big promise. Okay, you ready? John 16:33. The first promise isn't so good. You will have trouble. It's a guarantee. Things don't go as planned. But there's a promise. But take heart. I have overcome the world. Hey, we win. We're going to get through this. We're going to be stronger. I believe we have the opportunity to make an impact and a huge difference in the world. And so as we wrap this up, Charla, I just want to say that there's people watching this video. They don't even know me. They may not know you because a friend of a friend of a friend passed it on as a little word of encouragement. And you might be in this position. You might be thinking, wow, what a great time. What a great opportunity to reset my whole life. I need to get clarity on who I want to become, where I want to go, and what I do. Well, That's what Charla does. She's perfectly positioned to help you in that. And others of you, your head's spinning. You're like, hey, I need a lifeline. I don't know what direction I need to go, but I know I need to pick one. Charla does that as well. So whether you're a business or an individual and you're needing some encouragement and you need some direction, then I encourage you to reach out to Charla. Charla, how would they find you? How would they connect with you?
Well, Tom, first of all, amazing. Thank you so much. And I love that we grow through this instead of go through this. I mean, there's so much more than meets the eye than what's going on. So grateful for that message. That was awesome. And, I've had a huge privilege to know your dad and to know Cindy and Julie, your sisters, and to be truly feel part of the family. So thank you for taking the time to talk to my folks and and really thank you, because you gave some beautiful acknowledgement to me, and it feels good when that happens sometimes. Encouragers need encouragement too.
That's right.
That's just what you did, and I really appreciate it. So as your courageous coach, someone who has literally stepped towards the fear, stepped towards the gun, I have skills, and I would love to help you guys, some of you guys out there that may need some strategies or verbiage or encouragement to go through these unsteady times. And I love, you said several times, for such a time as this. A few years ago, I had a radio show, and it was called, it was Charla Awaken, and I was like, why? It changed, and then I get this, for such a time as this. My job, I felt like, was to awaken, help people, love people where they are, and love them through the unsteady times. And wow, there was some experience I had back then, but nothing like now. So just, we don't want to walk in fear. We want to walk in bold faith. And to get in touch with me, so as a courageous coach, I want to just say this part of that, because I am courageous, and I want to help you be courageous by learning to stand in your authority. You've got an amazing authority so that you can live a life of complete peace, which I am so grateful to have the vast majority of the time. And to find me, I have a just message. You can leave me a message on my 800 number, which is 888-788-4153, 888-788-4153, or Charla at charlaanderson.com, Charla at charlaanderson.com. And then my website, charlaanderson.com. We're revising a little bit. Hopefully it'll be done before you see it. So anyway, Tom, you've been, it's been a huge blessing. Every time I'm in your presence, it's like you said about the candle in the room, dark can't enter light. So be the light.
That's right.
And it saves a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. And everybody listen to this, call Charla. Get on that number, give her a call, and I know she can help you. So thank you so much, Charla, for having me, and we'll see everybody again next time.
Thank you, Tom. Blessings.
Blessings.